We've all been sick at one point in our life, or maybe twice this year, or this week, or we still are. It depends on each and every person, and yet we still want to play video games, so this is the top 7 best games to play while sick. Games that will still allow you to enjoy yourself doing something other than suffering in bed, but will not necessarily tax you to the point where there is more pain coming from playing the game than from the disease itself. Games that you can happily click away at while you have a high fever and are seeing goats on the walls trying to leech in from the other place. The place filled with goats. And perhaps mackerels? Sure, you could go to sleep, if you can, if there's not a giant pounding sound in your head because your temperature is so high that at this point, you may as well rebrand yourself as a furnace and sell off the excess heat for profit. So that being said, let's get it started with number 7. Broken Sword, not the director's cut. Broken Sword is a very beautiful adventure game. It has fantastic art, great soothing music, a slow pace. It doesn't require you to have a lot of reflexes to be fully awake even, and the puzzles are not what you would call challenging enough for your fever-filled brain to go into overdrive and explode and leave you as an empty husk, a mindless drone doomed forever to probably think there were dinosaurs on Noah's Ark, or worse, have an opinion about hats. That being said, do not get the director's cut, because the director's cut, although it adds more content, although it makes the game a bit easier to run on modern systems, has a puzzle in it that'll make you want to shoot yourself. It is not a puzzle that you can solve while your bloodshot eyes are trying to escape from your skull and your teeth feel like they're about to run away. Do not get the director's cut. Number 6. Worms. Doesn't really matter which one, well, technically it does. Get any of the 2D ones, Armageddon, Worms War Party, any of those Worms games, even the Worms 2 I guess, or Reloaded. Any of the ones that don't require you to think in 3 dimensions when you aim. They're great games to play against the AI, maybe on an easy, do not do the missions, oh god, do not do the missions. Play against an AI on easy settings and just watch those little worms explode. Those cows just explode. The sheep explode. The holy hand grenades explode. You know, something to keep your mind off the fact that because of your temperature, your pulse is now at a level at which you may as well tell the people around you to start wearing ponchos and carrying an umbrella, because your heart may as well explode quite soon. You can even play it with other people, and hey, if the other person is sick as well, you can both stay in bed, grab a laptop, wheel the desktop to the bed or the other way around, and play it in hot seat mode. You'll have a laugh, you'll have a cry when your worm dies, and you'll forget that there are things coming out of your body from places where things should not be coming out of your body, and things that should be coming out of your body refuse to. Not a pleasant sight, is it? Number 5. Pirates. Sid Meier's Pirates, to be more precise. The 2004 version, because it is the easiest one to play when you are absolutely mind-numbingly sick. It's easy to play, it's not all that complicated, it's got a beautiful, very nice decor with sea shanties. It's about sailing on the sea, it doesn't have very complicated mechanics, the swordplay is easier than in the old Pirates games. You even have a dancing minigame so you can pretend that you're maybe not sick in bed, unable to walk, and you can easily play it with just a couple of fingers. Doesn't require you to use, well, an entire keyboard like some other pirate games would. Number 4. Civilization. I would suggest 4 just because it's sort of the one I like most, but I guess 5 with all the expansions would work as well, since maybe it is a bit easier to play thanks to the all-encompassing super duper enter button. Civilization can be played with a mouse. Just a mouse, nothing else. Heck, you can play it with a gamepad. If the gamepad is in mouse mode, you can play it with a gamepad with one hand. Heck, not even that. If you have one of those straw mouse things, joystick or whatever they are, you can play it with your mouth. It's very easy to get into. And sure, if you're really sick, maybe you won't have the brain power to spare in order to create a millennia-spanning empire, but you're gonna get to build some stuff, send some people out in the jungle to probably die eaten by some barbarians, and eventually Gandhi's gonna nuke you. The important thing is that it will keep your mind off the fact that you are slowly dying, or you feel like you're slowly dying. You may get better, may. I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but I still wish you all the best. Number 3, Stardew Valley. Another game that is quite easy to play, especially if you insert some mods into it that change the way in which fishing works, so it's not as annoying. It's a game where you'll go around, you'll chop down things, you'll plant things, you'll maybe talk to some people, you'll cook stuff, you'll plant more stuff, you'll collect things. And unlike, let's say, Minecraft, in which you could do some of the same things, this is top-down. There is no chance of you getting motion sickness, and because it is, well, top-down, you don't really need as many fancy controls. I think you can play it with just a keyboard. So you can have fun and enjoy yourself growing that little farm that you always said you would do one day in real life before you died. You may still have the chance, but you may as well profit from the Stardew Valley experience just in case. Number 2, Diablo 2. Action games normally are not what you would want when you're sick. They require a lot of coordination, a lot of ability to actually discern where you are, what you're doing, and why. Sometimes why. But Diablo 2 still works because it's not overwhelming until you get probably to hell, and by that time you'll already be you'll get to the 4th act of the game and still be totally alive and not in hell for real. It's a game with very, very nice particle effects that explode all over. They don't overwhelm you sensory wise until you get to the harder difficulty levels if you survive that long. I mean, if you're playing a hardcore character, that is. Do not play a hardcore character, you will die instantly. It's a cathartic experience. You can materialize your demons, the ones infesting you, inflicting your disease. You can personify it in the game as the monsters you are hunting down and crushing and destroying and tearing apart. It's something that will help you cope with the fact that the end is near and train you for the inevitable battle against Satan. I mean, in Diablo, not in the place you're gonna go. And number 1 is the Settlers 2 or Tropico. So here's the thing. One very important aspect about being sick is that you will not have really a lot of energy. You will just be marginally awake most of the time, maybe have half an eye open, and you can't really make sense of a lot of stuff. But a game like Tropico, or Settlers 2 especially, do not really require you to do many things. Just place down some buildings and watch some people move around. Tropico has the advantage of, depending on what version you're playing, it may have 3D graphics and be all colorful and warm and have they all have super music, and it will fill you with a glee, with a glow, with a joy, especially if you set it on the lowest difficulty level. It will soothe your soul and your aching brain and aching body. Whereas Settlers 2, because it is such a hands-off kind of game where you just place buildings and then hope for the best in terms of how well you plotted out the roads, it becomes more of a spectator sport. You watch your little people go by, you watch the little donkeys go by, and you enjoy yourself. You're happy. So that when the Grim Reaper comes and whisks you away to that never-ending darkness, you'll say, well, at least I got to play some Settlers 2 and filled probably an entire island with corpses when I captured that headquarters, or I played some Tropico and killed all my political opponents. Odds are you're gonna go to hell. If you believe in such a thing, that is. And if you're sick, if you're really sick, you're already there. So ends the top 7 best games to play when you are sick. I would also like to give special mentions to Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3, though with a bit of a caveat. They require you to be a bit more awake, a bit more not senile and completely off the walls out of it. If you're seeing goats, if the walls are going ba ba, well, that's a sheep actually. A goat just screams at you. If you're seeing that, it's already too late, because the games can get a bit fiddly when the AI starts spamming all sorts of heroes at you and you have to deal with each and every one of them individually. You will not be mentally equipped for that or for handling multiple castles. But still, when you start to recover, give them a shot. If you have your own suggestions, make sure to mention them in the comments. If you're gonna say Monkey Island, remember what kind of kooky, strange, absurdist puzzles that series has. Are you gonna be able to do them while you are not capable of blinking coherently or talking without the third word always being I guarantee you that you will not be able to. Goodbye.